Okay, well, welcome everyone. Third day. 11 of us here and 4 or 5 or 6 on the net. And we're happy to see everybody here to study the clear, cold light and try to reproduce the sense of that in our consciousness. Perhaps we'll be able to pause for some meditative moments along the way during the day. I think that's required when you try to assimilate some of these deeper concepts. We have to let these things register, so I hope to remember that as we go along. Not just have meditation in the morning, but on some different occasions, pause for assimilation. Also, I'd like to see if I can today bring in some of the material, skipping around a little bit in the later part of the book, some of the immediate applications of the rays and perhaps that important list of the rays and the initiations. I think if we, the preliminary material which Master DK gives is fantastic, but we only have so much time. Okay. So now our work with the clear, cold light. Within the fire of mind, focused within the head's clear light, let the group stand. The burning ground has done its work. The clear, cold light shines forth, and cold it is. And yet the heat evoked by the group love permits the warmth of energetic moving out. That's our focus for this morning's meditation. The clear, cold light shines forth, and cold it is, and yet the heat evoked by the group love permits the warmth of energetic moving out. So we get into our meditative state. And we find ourselves as the one who is behind and within the personality vehicles. We abstract. And we find ourselves as the soul in incarnation, the consciousness which is presented with those fields we normally call etheric, physical, astral, mental. But we are the consciousness itself, the being who has that consciousness. And these customary fields of our personality life begin to fade out of our awareness, and instead we find ourselves attuning more with the inner world, where the light is found, where the magnetism which draws us together is found, where the urge to sacrifice is found. And we find ourselves coalescing, drawing together as souls in the soul field. As if the normal appearance and the normal behaviors are fading away, and we are here together with ourselves in a different way. And we include in this sense of group identification the members of the new group of world servers, the men and women of goodwill, shining as lights in their respective places in the world. And finally, the sense, really, of merging with all human beings in soul, the unity behind the scenes. It's a very literal phrase. The unity behind the scenes. And so we are coming together as a group within the soul-infused mind, within the fire of mind, focused within the head's clear light. Let the group stand. Our point of tension upon the higher part of the concrete mental plane increases, and we visualize from the mental unit the two-colored rainbow bridge, each one of us doing that according to the presumed ray of our soul and personality, with the colors appropriate. Ray 1, red, indigo 2, green 3, yellow 4, orange 5, rose 6, violet 7. And the bridge is seen connecting the lower individual with the higher triadal worlds, abstract mind, intuition, spiritual will, and finally the spirit itself. And all of us together visualize the many strands, all the many colors of the group Antakarana, but colored essentially by the quality of indigo, the major ray. And when the sense of connection is strong, then we will project across this bridge a brilliant line of light, each of us and all of us, ending within the blue-white diamond, which we will use for the moment to symbolize the spirit aspect, the monadic aspect, the aspect of being, and we will project thinking, repeating to ourselves, I see the greatest light. I see the greatest light. And thus from these inner worlds, energy and wisdom can descend in response to our invocation. As together we are invoking the higher light upon our thoughts, which in fact are focusing on this higher light. I see the greatest light. And our identification or our cooperation is with those greater lights who are always focused on the triadal levels. We inwardly affirm our solidarity with the Christ and his hierarchy. And we offer our inner salutations, our our pledge of cooperation with the expression of the divine plan as best we can understand it. We think together under the impress of wisdom, and from a point detached from normal personality concerns, and we visualize, revisualize that indeed the burning ground has done its work. Or at least that it is in process, shall we say, of doing its work. It comes from the monad. It involves the triadal energies and sacrifice energies. And when its work is done, the purpose of which the monad is the custodian is making its way via the antakarana into our group consciousness and our individual consciousness. And we are living in those higher fires which brings our consciousness to a realization of the essentials. And once that burning ground has done its work, or is very much in process, the clear, cold light can shine forth. And so we ponder together, what is the clear, cold light? Attempt to meditatively clarify your understanding of the clear, cold light. the clear cold light shines forth what is. The clear cold light as best you can understand. Why is it, do you think, that this clear cold light shines forth only after the burning ground has done its work? Now, imaginatively immerse your individual consciousness and the consciousness of the group in the clear cold light which is shining forth. Imagine that we are in the very midst of this type of lighted energy and the perceptions which accompany it. Try to feel the clarity of this light and also the coldness of this light. We know that pure reason is extremely clear in its presentation of truth to consciousness. And we know that when the cold descends, it subdues vibration, at least within the three worlds. It reduces the rate of vibration. It brings heated conditions into greater stillness. And if we accustom ourselves to this light, the clear, cold light, we will be able to perceive our life process and each other in different terms. Much more clearly, much more directly. We try to focus now on the group love. And having immersed ourselves in at least the image and sense of the clear, cold light, we now do the same. We establish our consciousness together within the sense of group love. This involves the heart center and the heart center in the head. It involves the 12-petaled egoic lotus. Ultimately, it involves the love wisdom of the Buddhi. We feel the soul love among us, between us. Something quite different from personality love or attraction. And despite the fact that the light is cold, this group love exists. And while in the midst of this clear, cold light, and in the midst of the group love, we feel together, imaginatively, a kind of heat, or, as DK says, spiritual energy, which is rising and which is evoked by the group love. Clear, cold light, group love, and spiritual energy or heat. Spiritual energy is of the triad. The group love and the buddhi are combining, giving us motivating power as a group. And this heat, this spiritual energy, which will be used in service, is sensed as growing stronger. It's an energy that we generate together in the field of group love with a clear, cold consciousness. And in this intensifying energy of the triad of the buddhi, we feel ourselves as individuals and really the whole group as if warmed by this group love, by this spiritual energy. The solar fire, which is not only on the plane of higher mind, but as part of Agni, is part of the spiritual triadal realms. The warming of solar fire entering the group heart in the head, egoic lotus. Even though the consciousness stays clear and is cold to the lower vibrations. The clear, cold light shines forth, and cold it is, and yet the heat evoked by the group love permits the warmth to enter. This is not fire by friction in our relationships, but something entirely different. Another aspect of divinity, this growing warmth of soul. And all are included in this warmth, this group and the wider group. And the group relations are characterized by group love, spiritual energy, and warmth evoked. And as this warmth, this sense of it, grows here without heating the personality, we sense that it impels us as a group to move out together energetically in group service, and yet the heat evoked by the group love permits the warmth of energetic moving out. So we become highly motivated to serve as a group in whatever way may be chosen, energetically, expressing that magnetic warmth which draws others towards the hierarchy of souls. We are moving out in consciousness and also even in physical activity, warmly inspired by group love, spiritual energy, while maintaining our focus in the clear, cold light. A true unit of group service. And in this attitude and in this feeling, we visualize the kind of service which this type of group, a group of meditative spiritual students, the kind of service which this type of group may be prompted to undertake. The purpose of this service offered energetically with warmth in group love and with a clear consciousness. What service are we prompted towards? We do remember that service can be even more important than meditation, he tells us. And unless a group is a serving group, it cannot be an ashramic group. So we are prompted by the growing spiritual energy, animated by it, and looking at the world, we try to realize how it is that the successful passing of the individual and the group burning ground, and the ability to focus in the clear, cold light, all the while as the group love grows, are powerful and necessary preconditions which promote successful group service. These are needed for successful group service, successful passage over the burning ground, focus in the clear cold light, and the warmth of group love, all needed. If the group is to serve humanity successfully, on whatever plane of service is decided, so standing in this realization of the coming together of these factors which could seem to some people contradictory, in the merging and blending and fusing of these factors, of the clear, cold consciousness, the group love or spiritual energy, the motivating warmth felt within the group, we see if any realization has come to us during these ponderings. And if realization has come, we send it out into the conscious field of humanity so that others may be drawn towards the possibility of further realization. Let us use the Om to send forth the essence of our realization into the field of human consciousness. Within the fire of mind, focused within the head's clear light, let the group stand. The burning ground has done its work. The clear, cold light shines forth, and cold it is. And yet the heat invoked by the group love, evoked by the group love, permits the warmth of energetic moving out. And within the sense of the synthesis of these factors, we will together sound the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Okay, we are in the process of trying to build groups of this nature. And we see what the requirements are, and we see how subtle the requirements are. We see we're dealing with energies which are altogether outside the field of normal personality reaction. A very subtle process undertaken over years with a realization of the importance of the end result. So it cannot be rushed, and it has to be approached, of course, in a group way. So we will today try to go into this subject, the different ways of perceiving the clear, cold light, the different experiences of it, and the attempt to maintain it, because it is the state of perception of the group. There are many occult paradoxes, but they usually can be reconciled. Master Moria calls it containment, containment of the opposites. In this case, cold and warm are contained together, and it's not a contradiction. It's just a different attitude towards life altogether, and it makes the group useful in relation to the hierarchical work. So it really is training. It's training. And we should understand that a certain thing has to happen in the group so that the sense of training together really is part of the group culture. Not just, getting together every once in a while as people to study this or that, but training together, despite many personality differences, in rays and orientation and preferences. We're working at a deeper level now. So I'm really not going to bring it into anything else at this point. I'll just say that we will come back at just before 9:30, which will be 7:30 GMT for the people who are on the web, and we will get into the clear, cold light, sustained, of course, during breakfast, right? Okay, we'll see you then. Very good. Okay, folks, so we'll be back in 45 minutes, and we will see you then. Thanks for joining us. I know for some of you it could be shortly the middle of the night. Andrew, Daniel, Johanna, Leslie, Lynn, Nicholas. Thank you.